Grab your pooper scoopers, wargamers. We've got a pretty sizable mess to clean up. A mess in the form of well-digested owlbear chow. In our last episode and the first real combat of Hintervale, our hero, William of Heth, met his untimely demise, as did his boon companions, Mendoz Antonio and Plain Old Gwyn, and poor good pupper, Caleb, his trusty companion. Or did they? Turns out, there's good news. We're using Song of Deeds and Glory, forgive the glare, which is the extended campaign rules for Song of Blades and Heroes, written by Mr. Bistro. And in these rules, we have a post-battle sequence that indicates that our boys may not be dead. For personalities, well, they actually have two different tables. One for minions, these are kind of the nameless mooks, which you guys opted not to use. Instead, we've got 4 personalities, so we'll be rolling on this survival table. Before we do that, there's something very important we need to do. Whenever things go wrong, the first thing that you should do is figure out whose fault it is. We really need to point some fingers, and I take full responsibility for the failure of this campaign right out of the gate. Full responsibility. You know, the death of the death of Marion, that's definitely on me. And on this one, I assume full responsibility, but I mean, come on, guys. You know, who was it that told me we should go with a limited number of heroes? It wasn't Biscotti over there, right? Who was it that said we should go down to Owlbear Town? Was that me that decided that? I'm looking around. Oh, no, wait, that was you. But, you know, I really, as long as we're fixing blame, I think the other guys we need to blame are probably going to be these guys here. Boswell, Hallam, Andrea, Mistress Filigoy. So here's one of the things. Now, I'm being facetious a bit. I'm joking around here. I'm just busting your chops. Clearly something went wrong, and we need to understand what went wrong. Here in the House of Wargaming, we embrace failure as but one step on the road to success. But if that's going to be the case, then we have to understand what went wrong. And I think part of what went wrong is that on paper we were dealing with 2 forces that were mathematically, you know, we were assured this is going to be a fair fight between 2 of these owlbears and 4 of these heroes. Our owlbears came on one at a time, and we still struggled with it. So what happened there? What are we learning? Well, when I built the profiles for those owlbears, I used this little points matrix included in Flashing Blades, and I'm not sure that this is the right way to go. Let's see if I can find that for you. Here you go, right? So you see, if you have a combat value of 6 and a quality of 2, 75 points is your base. And then you start tacking on points for all of your various special abilities. All right, well, I don't think that works nearly as well. Moving forward, I think we're going to have to do the heavy lifting, and Andreas Filigoy has a little equation here that you run through that includes the special abilities as one of the factors, and it gets multiplied so that it's not just a purely linear situation. I think if we recalculated the points for these bad boys, we would find that they're not 170 points, and that wasn't a fair fight. In fact, looking at it, we've got a total of 19 points of special abilities. So if we run those numbers, what you find is our combat of 6, that gives us a 49 times 2, which is, that's even less. Wait a minute, that can't be right. 7 minus 2 is 5. So this is 30 plus 19 points of abilities is 49. Times 7 minus 2 is 5. So that's 49 times 5 gives you 250 divided by 275. Yeah, see, they're worth an extra 7 points. That would have made all the difference in the world. I think the points start to break down at those higher levels. Good to know. We got to make sure that we understand that when we send our boys up against the tougher guys. Probably works great as long as you're in this portion of the chart here. In this portion of the... Where are you, chart? Bookmarks are your friend. There we go, right? I think kind of maybe once you get out here to the tail ends, it starts breaking down. the same number of points regardless of the quality if you've got a combat value of 0. I'm not sure I'd buy that. That there's only 5 points worth of difference between these two, between a quality of 8 and 3 for the same combat value. I'm not sure I'd buy that. You know, I think down there in the 15 through 20, but up here, I don't know. Well, at least if experience is anything to go by. All right, so enough with the fixing blame. Let's go ahead and take a look at our hero, Will Heth. And before we go any further, I did want to mention William Heth is named after Hethwill, who has, it turns out, I just found this out. I don't know why he didn't tell me this before. He's got a wargame channel of his own in which he is playing through a solo wargaming guide, you know, the William Silvestri. We have been doing a Black Powder Imaginations campaign. He's going through the same process with a classical era, more Greek and Roman style than Black Powder style, and his maps are gorgeous. And if you go watch it, I have binge watched most of it to this point. And if you go watch, I hate to ruin it for you. Spoiler alert: Ludo Regnum is going to win. The Proconsul Ludo Regnum is just a handsome, intelligent general, and he's got impeccable personal hygiene. So I think that the guys he's going up against should probably just surrender and accept the inevitability of his rule, because Ludo Regnum is the man. Go check it out. I'll try to remember to include a link to Hethwill War Games. I'm filming here, Bird. You mind? I will try to remember to put a link in the description to make it as easy as possible for you to go give William a follow. He's doing some fascinating stuff. Gorgeous maps. You won't regret it. In the meantime, we need to find out what happens to our boys here. And William of Heth is tough, which I forgot about in the scenario. He probably could have lasted a few more rounds. I don't really think it would have made any difference. He only had like 3 more hits left. Going up against the 2 owlbears, the writing was on the wall. So there's a chance all 4 of these fellas were able to crawl to safety. So let's see what happens to them. And I think we should start with old William of Heth. Using our lovely new Griffin Bookstore dice catcher, let's see if it brings us any luck. Oh. I'm praying for you.